WGN investigates mixed messages on assault weapons here in Illinois. In the wake of the mass shooting in Highland Park last month, Democrats have renewed their calls for a national ban on assault weapons.
But as WGN's Ben Bradley reports tonight, their words don't always match their actions.
We are reminded of the fragility and vulnerability of life.
From the first hours after 7 lives were cut short in Highland Park,
there are no words for the kind of evil that shows up at a public celebration of freedom, hides on a roof, and shoots innocent people with an assault rifle.
We can, and we should, and we will do better.
Democratic politicians have talked of the need to ban assault weapons. From CNN,
there's no reason why someone should have 90 bullets at the ready, 30 in each of the cartridges that he used, and that's just something that I don't think civilians should have.
To the White House, their calls have been clear.
It will make a difference. It will save lives, but there's so much more to do.
People who say they stand with the police need to recognize that these are weapons of war.
But inside Illinois' state capitol, it's a different story.
If people are wondering why we don't have an assault weapon ban, it's because the Democrats have dropped the ball, period.
Only 7 states in the District of Columbia currently have an assault weapons ban in place. Illinois is not one of them. WGN Investigates found in the past decade there have been 27 bills submitted that would ban assault-style weapons. None have become law. Most haven't even been voted on.
They're hypocrites.
House Minority Leader Jim Durkin is the rare Republican who says he could support a ban, but Democrats, who hold a supermajority in Springfield and control legislation, they've buried bills in committees.
Assault weapon bans, right now they're all gung-ho about it, but J.B. Pritzker, Speaker Welch, and the Senate, they're all heroes after the fact. When they had the chamber for the last 12 years and these bills were sitting there introduced, waiting to be called for a hearing, the Democrats refused to bring it up for action.
The sponsor of several bills to ban assault weapons in Illinois, including the most recent to stall in committee, is State Senator Julie Morrison.
If we were all sitting ducks, I'll never do a parade again. And it's the way our world has become, that we can't even go to a community parade anymore.
She was in Highland Park's parade when the shooting started, but despite the personal experience, she declined our request for an interview about Democrats' unwillingness to even vote on their own legislation.
I think we should have one on the federal level.
WGN Investigates sought answers from the state's top Democrat.
There is still the powerful Illinois State Rifle Association, which is a subset of the National Rifle Association that's had a lot of influence over many years. I believe we are in a position to overcome that obstacle and to get an assault weapons ban in our state. I certainly am pushing for it.
Until we have 50-state solution to this, we're still going to continue to see mass gun shootings committed with assault rifles.
Groups working to combat gun violence say state bans only go so far.
I think it helps. It obviously isn't the answer to everything because it's so easy for folks to go across to Indiana, where most of these crime guns being found in Chicago are being purchased from.
People will say that this doesn't do anything, but if it does makes it more difficult for somebody who has bad intentions from getting access to one of those military type weapons, like this Cremo did up in Highland Park, I'm fine with that, and I think that's good.
Most of the assault weapons bills didn't get called under former, now indicted House Speaker Mike Madigan. A spokesperson for the current Speaker, Chris Welch, wouldn't say if there are plans to push for action in the near future. Republican candidate for governor Darren Bailey called for a special session in Springfield after the Highland Park shooting to address crime in general. But he does not support gun restrictions. In fact, he's filed legislation to eliminate the need for a firearms owner identification card to buy a gun. Ben Bradley, WGN Investigates.